Hi. Hi, Lowell.
Good day. I almost see you. I can hear you.
You can't see me?
I
Okay.
can't see you.
No.
There we go.
How are you today?
It's a beautiful day. It's been cold for a bit. It hasn't been so overcast, and it's like in the low 40s now, which and it's not warm everywhere. But here in this place at this time, it's a nice little break from all the snow we've had. Now there's more rain coming because you've been watching these rivers of phenomenon come across the United States, and yes, they're pounding my poor California, but they don't stop there. When they get to the Nevada border, they just continue to whitewash. And so you've heard about all this crazy phenomenon that is a result of it. But anyway, I see the trios all together here on the
They are
bottom.
together.
So let's just
The
get
Berlin
to
girls.
it. Yes. So when I sent that email out, that was to draw a line in the sand. Yeah, it was okay. Here, I'm coming. Now you tell me whether these timings work or not. If they don't, then we'll adjust accordingly. So since then, I tentatively made my plans. My hotel was locked in, so I could change the dates. So I'm arriving a week later and staying a week later.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll be arriving on the 5th and departing, well, allegedly departing on the 19th.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, but
yes.
No, that's not good. April? No, because I think I'm gone until the 19th. Oh, no. No.
Yeah, and when are you leaving?
I'm leaving on Saturday. And
this Saturday?
This Saturday. And I'm coming back on the 19th. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, now, when I said that's my tentative plan to depart, I may, for reasons unbeknownst to me, because look, I'll be honest, I've been waiting until this came together. I stopped speaking at conferences. I didn't make any plans to do so this year because I knew I was going to be somewhere else to get this done. Wow. And so whatever that's going to take, girls, this is my priority now. Yes, there's all kinds of people that I help, but this project is a priority. So you don't have to be worried about me sharing these materials with anybody else. First of all, only 3 people know about me and this at all. My beloved, because I live with her, she needs to know. My son, who for the same reasons just needs to know I'm going to Germany. And by the way, he's envious. And then a close friend of mine who you'll get to know, Dave Wallace, really well. He is he's a soul brother from way back. And you want to start to exchange experiences? This guy has him in his home. Yes. Anyway,
say that again. What?
He's had experiences with ultra-terrestrials in his home.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And when the time comes, I will show you pictures of it.
Okay.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Yes. You see, girls, where we're starting to talk about multidimensionality, and your story is a wonderful narrative, and it's going to help people walk from this one to the next one. But then what we're going to show them after that, wait till I show you the things that I've seen, and then I'll let your mind wander. I don't want to distract from your storyline, but I do have an idea for you to consider. And it would be this. I spent Friday night, right before I was going to go to bed, that's when I decided to read your materials. Well, of course, I couldn't sleep the rest of the night because I saw all of this lining up. But as I heard more about Silver, in my mind, Silver's from Telos, and she's a Lemurian. Yeah. And if you decide to tell the story and use those labels, you've got a built-in audience starving for material on Telos and Lemurians that are going to crawl all over this once they get word of it. Think about it. I'm not asking you to change anything, but all of a sudden, that's the way I saw this playing out. And man, if the word came out that there was going to be a weekly series about Telos or about Lemurians or a Lemurian, here comes your audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were wondering in our script whether to be straightforward with the wording and calling it Telos and Inner Earth, and or till now we decided to call it the core people, to leave it more free. And but you see,
But the story
for some people it would be easier like this, but I can hear what you say.
I don't disagree, because half of me says don't play with it, leave it the way it is, and I can understand how the story will unfold. I get it. It is ideal the way that it is. The perspective that I took a look at just opened up a whole new timeline that I looked at from there. So I'm not saying change a thing, girls. This is what you do. I'm here to support you, and I'll tell you what Inner Earth was all about. But when I see these things, I'll bring them to your attention, and you make the decision. That's it. You're never going to hurt my feelings, ever. And I only make suggestions when I'm invited to do so. I respect all of you as sovereign beings with free will, and I know each one of you has a gift that puts you in the seats that you're in, and I respect that. Thank God you're here. I'm good to go.
You see, it depends very much as well on which platform we land on. Yeah. If it is Netflix or Amazon.
Let me tuck one more thing in your head while we're at it. What would happen in your minds if this ended up as a series on Amazon?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. We would love
It's
that.
not that far flung, ladies.
Our dream is HBO, just because they produce amazing.
Have you seen did you see the Wheel of Time?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hello.
Yeah.
This is our own one.
Amazon
our role model
has deep enough pockets and influences to do that kind of production.
Yeah.
Yes, they can. And then they have a built-in platform to show it on. And it's not like things that weren't on Amazon didn't make to the big screen anyway.
Yeah.
I just, as I was laying there trying to go to sleep the other night, these are all the things that just started to flood in. Because at first I went, okay, what's episodic? And, Netflix, they have those. But wait a minute, this really isn't a Netflix thing. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, this could be Amazon. This could be like Wheel of Time big-ish, and every week people are just scrambling, wait for, or it could be on Apple. And that could be another, we're starving you until next week for the next episode. Either one of those platforms, I see it doing I just think that there's a larger reach with Amazon. And I'm just talking out loud. That's all.
Exactly. Yeah. And you see, I would like to make open all our ideas and thoughts about, you see, there are two sides of making it, name it what it is, or protect it as fantasy. There are forces who don't want it in the public.
Yes, correct.
Yeah? And they are very strong, and they are in the industry, the film industry as well. You can find both sides. And you see, we wanted to portray it as a drama structure where we can tell everything what we want, so that we are absolutely free to tell the truth in the pictures and the storyline, and forget the names.
Right.
Yeah. And so this was our intention till now. Yeah. This.
I follow your logic. It makes perfect sense to me. The reasoning is sound. It's the doorway for the uninitiated to kind of get it. They get triggered in on some kind of series, and they'll pick a character and they like it. We don't care what the reason is. We'll give them
Absolutely.
messages once they get here. We'll just figure out the way that's best to trigger that. But look, everything resonates so nicely for me. And it's not like you haven't put in any effort over the last 3 years. I'm assuming that lots of the I's have been dotted and T's have been crossed. And all of this mindset and how you got here, you've had ample time to think that through.
Yeah.
I'm a Capricorn, believe me, I understand and I appreciate it. So I don't know that you get to overthink something like this. And the fact that it's going to be episodic, man, you can really tell the entire story and let the narrative wander down the timelines so you understand every little piece of the puzzle, because there's a lot.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
Because we have to tell the dark side, the rabbit holes, how people process themselves out of it, make their development, and meet all the other dimensions and process that as well. Yeah, we want to.
That's my objective in all of this. What you said is exactly what I hope to get out of this. That I hope everybody else gets their trigger some way. It had to come somehow. I was pretty sure I was going to get to be involved in it. And if it wasn't my story, parts of my experiences were going to be part of this narrative. So again, I've just been waiting. But at the same time, the timeline I gave you. The whole time I'm sitting here idle going, okay, you tell me to be patient, but I know the clock is ticking.
Yeah. Well, we've been feeling it ever since we started in 2020. Yeah. We have it ticking forever. And it's funny because the story actually Inner Earth wasn't there from the beginning. And then why did we completely rearranged the series again?
We always wanted to make a movie or a series about Inner Earth, but the two stories, they were not connected.
And then suddenly they did.
I think Uri just said at one point, maybe we should connect it already. And
then it was perfect.
And suddenly everything makes sense.
Yeah. Can you elaborate a little bit, Lowell, how you knew that you are weighted for that project? How you knew that?
For this project?
Yeah, or this collaboration?
I saw this. Telos was the end of July in 2020. And by the time, see how things line up?
That's when we started.
I know. You see the coincidences, the synchronicities and all this. There's been massive triggers that are back to that year. Yeah. Every time if somebody crosses my path, and I always want to know a little bit more about them, I'm hearing more and more, not from the people that have been spiritually minded for decades, the ones that have been triggered recently. 2020, like 2 to 3 years ago, here is the sweet spot. It seems to be the same for all of us. So there's some kind of other energy force that is taking place in the background. That you only know that when you start to share these stories amongst one another and all the numbers seem to coincide. Okay, now we know why we're all here and we know reasons, and here we're beginning to understand our gifts and what we're going to do with them. And in the meantime, look at all the tribe that's showing up and the individual gifts and the places that they plug into the fabric of this whole little thing that's going on. So when we got to the fall and my story had gotten out, right before November, I had I'd heard from Ruben Langdon and his program about doing an episode for his series. And then in my head, I got other things in my mind. And as I was talking to Ruben, he said, you ought to get used to the idea of speaking on a stage to bigger audiences, because I see it coming for you. And when the combination of that and the combination of his program and what I knew kind of reach it had, I went, I can see this story becoming something else. And then within a week, I got a request to work with a guy who had been a producer. So that's been in my field since like December of 2020. So what he had proposed was crazy. It was a huge entertainment endeavor. It wasn't just a movie. It was kids TV shows and merchandise and, you know, that whole marketing realm for entertainment. This was full of it. And I went, that's way more than I'm interested in. Look, I can understand the piece with the movie and, you know, communicating that information, but the rest of it, I don't get this. So, you know, it's been in the back for a while. And I knew it wasn't going to be the only offer. But what came up now, as you guys show up and as a couple other tribe members show up, guess what? Pieces of that extraordinary vision he had are showing up. Yeah. And so, you know, I wasn't going to be the one that had to figure out how it was all going to get done. That was never my interest in the first place. Just kind of steer the ship, gather the tribe, and they're all going to show up and do the parts that they're supposed to do. So here we are.
Great. Yeah, this is exactly what we need. And this producer you spoke of, could he be in any interest for the project?
No, you know, here and why I say that, he had lots of influence and he threw lots of names at me. But when he started to ask me to, you know, go through my friends and my resources as investment partners, I went, look, I'm the content guy. I'm not the finance person. So if you want me to chase money, that's not what I'm into this for. Yeah. So that's why that kind of cooled I could see he wasn't going to be the only one that was going to step up to the plate. And once whatever sponsors came our way and we all had to worry about where the expenses were going to be met, then the right answer was going to come along.
Okay.
And we, again, last week when Julie was saying, you know, I get stuck because I don't know how it's all going to get paid for. Well, let me remind you again, you don't have to worry about that. That's not your role. It's not even my role. But I know that there's a finance person and he's supposed to show up this week. It was funny. I didn't read tarot for a long time, but I do recently. And I can't tell you how much it lines up. So when Oriana sent the email out about, you know, just keep this under wraps, 2 of my tarot readings this week, and it's kind of my nature anyway, said keep things to yourself. Just stay tight-lipped about what you're doing. No one else needs to know. You know how people spoil things. Just keep this to yourself for now. So, you know, no one, not even the 3 people I mentioned to you, have seen any of the materials, and I will stand by that. It's nobody's business. I had an opportunity to swing for the fences back when I was younger with an online learning platform before the ones that really made money went out. Oh, I was at the doorstep for that. And I got the wrong people involved and I lost the opportunity because it was taken right out from underneath me. So when you say that had happened to you, been there, done that, won't let it happen. That was a lesson I learned so that it would never happen to me again in the future.
Yeah. This is very important because in that industry, ideas just can be taken, and they can be completely transformed and go in a different direction. And this is not what we want. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
So, Lowell, let me ask again. This week, when you come to Berlin, do you come for other reasons?
Wow.
I'm a tourist. If you ask me what I'm doing there, I'm a tourist. But you all know what I'm coming there to do, and it's this project.
But the dates are fixed, right?
I'm sorry?
And the dates that you said, and they're like, it
has to be around then.
I don't sit on my hands for very long. If it was up to me and it was, you know, economically a little better, I'd have been there this week. However, I did a little bit of research to figure out where I was going to stay, found a spot that I'm happy that's kind of central. And the only thing I didn't lock and load yet were my flights. And even when I did that, I'm only booking the front end because I'm not sure when I'm leaving yet. I may very well be there later, longer. It really depends on, you know, what happens when we're all together. And then we figure out what our needs are going to be. because I want to understand exactly what you're doing and where you need to do that and what you need to get it done.
Yeah.
Then I can work on those parts and support you with whatever else I need to support you with.
And so is there any chance we could put together a work week, the five of
Yes.
us?
Absolutely.
And then, so Julia is coming back on the 19th, and it would, I mean, it's so different to see each other face to face. And
I totally agree. I prefer doing it. We can get things done on Zoom, and we will, because the nature of the things and where we have to be logistically, that'll work great. But we all know there's different energy when we're all together in the room.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important for me to get there and take advantage of this as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So the quicker we can all get in the same room together, that's great. If Julie doesn't get back to the 19th, well, then right now I'll tentatively extend my trip for another week. Well, because I'm still coming on the 5th.
Yeah.
I'm going to Berlin.
We have another problem because
So that'll give me a little bit more time to learn about the city and the country,
Yeah.
and it'll be great.
we have another problem because me and Julia Maria are booked on a job between, the dates are not like between the 20, but between in April, it's super full for us, between the 21st of April and the 30th.
Yeah.
4 to 6 days, we don't know yet when exactly, but
Yeah, it's
difficult.
so May is
May would be great.
May would be amazing.
An open slate.
Yeah, I don't want to wait that long, girls. And we can't. Look, we already talked about how we want to get this done in 90 days. All of a sudden, we're talking about pushing it off for another 30.
Yeah.
That's why. So let's do this. It's not to say that I won't be back, but let's get what we can accomplish in the short amount of time that I will be here. So let's think that there's a 3-week window, time that I can see the 3 of you until Julie gets back. And if there's a way, in those 2 days before you guys have to dash, that we can do it all together, great. If not, Julie's back and then I get to spend a little bit of time with her.
Yeah.
How does that
Right.
sound?
Yeah.
This
That way
is
the reels
exactly
get going.
Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to suggest as well. So what would be the beginning date? We would work together and Julia could come to the sessions per Zoom, for example.
I'll be there as of the 5th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so whatever 1 week now past the 19th would be, that's my window of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be the 26th. Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing.
Okay.
Thank you so
So
much.
that's phase 1. And again, it's not to say that I won't be going back, because if I have to, my son's just looking for an excuse to go to Europe. And when you heard I was going to Berlin,
we would love to go and visit you too. This would be amazing as well.
Well, I want to talk about all those logistics because I want to understand where the production is going to take place so I can assist there. If there's stuff that can be done stateside, then, we'll just talk about it and then I can figure out some logistics here too.
Yeah.
Because if it was up to me, we'd be filming some and experience energy on Shasta while you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
would love that. Yeah. So what would be our beginning date where the 4 or 5 of us begin? Oriana, Julia, Maria.
Why don't I just quickly send you a screenshot of my calendar into the Commander Slavanchi. Screenshot? Yeah. I think we can add it in the. I'm just gonna say it. It's too complicated. So okay, my April is on. I have a production on the 5th and 6th of April. Then I'm free from the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Then I have another production on the 13th and 14th. Then I'm free again on the 15th and 16th. And then I have another production between the 17th and the 30th.
17th.
2 days, yeah, but one is 2 days only, but the dates are not for sure yet. And the other one is 4 to 6 days, which Julia Maria is going to be on as well.
Okay.
My perhaps we can create a WhatsApp group as well to communicate dates and stuff like that easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
because I think via email, it's always a bit more complicated.
So what would you say if we work together from the 15th till and you are on and off, and everybody who's there till the 21st?
Oh, echt? 21st.
Da bist ja, you can.
Possible to start also maybe on the 17th and then until the 23rd, because then I can spend more time working with you guys.
But then he's coming on 5th already.
But then Oriana
you can already meet, of course, but Gela, I think you also won't be there for the whole time. So
I have to plan that.
You're there, maybe we can, you know, if we do, for example, the 17th till the 23rd.
But then I understood Oriana is on the 17th and 18th.
But the thing is, like, I don't know the concrete dates yet, because they always give me like a window of time that I'm supposed to block, and then like 2 or 3 weeks before they tell me like the proper dates. So the time that I have blocked for 2 productions is at the moment from the 17th to the 30th. But then I will have days free in between. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
And that was the reason, Julia, I suggested the 15th, because there we could come together and you could join per Zoom. And from the 19th, you are here, we are all together.
You know, on the 19th, I'm coming back, so I could be there on the 20th.
Yeah.
Oh,
so the 20th and 21st. And then I understood Oriana and Julia, Maria, you are still, yeah. So, how would you say we block that week and we do whatever is possible in that week from the 15th, till the 21st? Because then I understood, Oriana, 22nd you are blocked as well.
From the 21st. Yeah. Blocked. 21st. 21st. And for me, 17th. Julia Maria, 21st, for me, 17th. But don't we want to have at least also, because I'm free, for example, like the week from the 10th to the 16th is actually a lot better for me.
Absolutely. You tell me, I'm available for as much of my time as you want. You know what, I'm going to be there. I'm going to see, I don't know how convenient it is. I'm planning on staying at the Hollywood Media Hotel.
Yeah.
Because then Julia
there's
is not
some
there.
space I could probably use. If we want to meet there, I could probably get a room that we can use for sitting down together there.
Yeah.
Oh, I just would love to be there as well. Oh.
You will be. You will be.
It's mad, yeah.
When you get back, you will be.
Yeah, the hotel is super close to me. Yeah, where I live.
And me then as well.
Yeah, and we
Good.
live in the same building.
Excellent.
Yeah.
See?
That's it.
Can you say that again, Oriana? Your acoustic is very bad for me. I nearly can't hear you.
The hotel is very close to where we live.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 10 minutes with a car.
So how do we do it now? I could travel there. I could travel earliest on the 10th. So it takes me a day to come from Stuttgart to Berlin. Or nearly a day. So I could be there from the 11th. But how can we do it that Julia is involved?
Das ist eine ganz andere Erfahrung.
Ja, klar. Aber können wir dann nicht noch, also
Ja,
Nein,
habe ich
das
einen
eine
Tag
schließt ja
noch.
das eine schließt ja das andere nicht aus. Warum können wir, sorry. Why can't we, we're just trying to see how we can incorporate everyone. That would be so lovely. So why don't we, because I mean, Julia is going to be in Tenerife. And she comes back on the 19th. You say it's open end for you at the moment because you haven't booked a flight back. Julia could join from the 20th onwards. Why don't we make the dates from the 19th or 20th onwards open so that you could join, but every date that we do before, you definitely come in with Zoom for as much time as we can give, because you're still on holiday, obviously you want to enjoy that. And then you said you might be in London for the movie premiere.
I'm not going to go then. I'm going to stay here.
Okay.
I made a film and it got into a film festival and I'm supposed to be there, but I'm just going to skip that because this is more important now. So yeah,
So then
because then I would be away again from the.
So that would be 2 weeks or on and off, Oriana, from the 10th till the 21st, or what?
Yes, exactly, from the 10th to the 21st, and we put in as much time as it's possible for us to put in.
Okay.
And then you have, when you come back, at least 2 days, you know.
Aber das ist doch bei dir auch nicht sicher, ne? Ob das
Ja, aber es kann zum Beispiel sein, dass die nach hinten rutschen und der nach vorne rutscht, dann habe ich da Zeit. Und selbst,
English.
sorry,
English.
yeah. Sorry. Because this job is only 2 days, so it could be that it's just like 17th and 18th, and I'm free 19th and 21st. This could be that it's like 6 days here, and then this is free. We just don't know yet. And usually the weekends are free because productions usually shouldn't work on weekends. I mean, sometimes it can be Saturdays, Sundays are usually free. But yeah.
Okay. So which weekend were you talking and thinking of, Oriana?
So let's just say very broad, and we'll see how everything happens and turns out. As much time between the 10th and the 23rd.
Okay.
How does that sound? That's 2 weeks, and then we can see how we can work around that, and whoever has time and is.
But you said you stay until the 26th.
19th.
Yes. Yeah, if I just extend for another 7 days, I would be departing on the 26th instead. So let's work from that framework.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But then we will definitely find time, and at some point, maybe all of us.
Well, we all have other obligations that we need to meet while we're trying to get this done. But we're going to see, stay on course, get those things done, and sooner or later there'll be resources for us to focus on this and only this. In the meantime, do what you got to do to get us there. But
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have that roughly, and we make a WhatsApp group and we finalize it in that group.
Yeah.
One curious question, Lowell. You said you have German ancestors in some
yes,
video?
I don't know where. Yes, my maternal grandfather was a Weiss. So I had every intention to open back up Ancestry because I used that program, and I followed my paternal parents all the way back to Sweden in like 1765. So I'm curious to find out now that I'm going to Germany. Hey, wait a minute. I think I have ancestors from there. At some point, I'll be more curious and chase that rabbit hole, but it's not like you and I don't have enough rabbit holes as it is.
Because several of my ancestor family went to US, so you never know how things are working together.
It wouldn't be the craziest thing I heard that once we finally followed our timelines that we were, cousins way back. But
you
stay
never
tuned.
know.
What makes the three of you think that you're not included in this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your little souls have been attached to us too. So there you go.
Yeah. So this is very exciting news. Wow. And your son is coming as well.
No, he wants to. He likes to travel. And so he's got an itch to do it again. They've had really lousy weather where he was. And so he just got kind of cabin fever, if you can imagine such a thing, in California. But when I suggested I was going to Berlin, he goes, "Oh, man, I want to go to Europe."
Yeah.
Well, if I have to return, and I'm open to that, I'm sure that I wouldn't have much trouble talking him into it. But I'm kind of happy traveling there by myself this time, so that I don't have anything else that is going to distract me from the things that need to get done. I'll have plenty of time to see things while you're all busy, but that's not what I'm going there to do. I'm going there to do this. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This is amazing. This is amazing. It will be a big push forward.
Yeah.
So it
I'm
really
looking
turns
forward
out
to the day that we can start to tell other people about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
And it kills me because, man, I can hold secrets. I don't like to, and it like builds up pressure, but I can. I just don't like it. I tell myself this at the end, that whole time that no, you didn't let anybody else know. Just wait for the look on their face when they finally do see. That'll be worth the wait.
Yeah. So it takes quite a lot of time to put together this enormous productions, executive producers. We need showrunners, we need directors, we need actors. So it's a big thing. And we will need different producing companies because it's such a big project. And we need actors, good actors with names if we want to have a big screening platform.
Or at least,
and they have to be free.
Yeah. Like in the Wheel of Time, the lead actress is very well known,
Like Rosalind
Pike, but the rest was unknown to most people. So we need, like, in the main positions, like some really good names, and then our 5 protagonists could be not so well known, but as anyway, because now it's a good time because money is tight for everyone apparently, and they can't actually pay very established people anymore. So in some way, streaming platforms are like more likely to cast unknown actors than very expensive, well-established actors, which could be an advantage. But obviously it's exciting because we want to find people that are unique looking for people from Inner Earth, and, like, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see what's coming.
Well, I'm ready.
The writer's room is basically, we could start tomorrow with all the stuff.
We need to put together the writer's room very quickly, because the first season needs to be written out. The ideas are ready, but it needs to be written out.
Do you see most of the production taking place in Berlin?
No. Europe. So it's based, the first season is developed in a way that it's the less expensive. So the way it is that we don't, only by the end of season 1 they enter, and that's the big cliffhanger where they have to go into Inner Earth. But then, as you can see in the first episode already, there's this mysterious guy named Caesar, and he can stop time. And Silver has these gifts, and there was a baby born, and there's these light beings opening a portal.
In a circle.
It's all there in the first episode already, but there will be only those kind of bits, mysterious bits following, as we obviously want to act as if we tell a great story about brain chips, but, you know, we're not. And so the idea is to produce it mainly in Europe, but also have the American aspect there, because there's Eli, who's an American from New York, and that backstory. So eventually they're probably gonna end up in America because our big antagonist, Jason Malik,
He's American.
he's American. He's
Yeah.
like a Silicon Valley kind of
And his son, what's his name? Vincent.
Oh,
Vincent
Vincent.
is also American. So we have like a lot of American characters in there because we feel like we need that kind of energy, like the American energy in that, because most of these inventions come from like Silicon Valley, which obviously is in America. So we kind of like this whole like tech, AI, like all of that comes mainly from America
and China. But
and China.
Yeah, because we are from Europe, we can't write a story based in America because it's not our background.
Yeah.
So that's why we need different background writers coming in, who like American writers as well. We bring that aspect into it. But mainly
most of it is shot in London actually, or like in England.
England and Europe.
The first episode is in
London.
It's in England. Huge countryside, London.
I mean, Jamie is coming from Paris. Leo is coming from Berlin. Silva is coming from Germany, England, and Frau Hauser, she's German but lives in England, working in England. And so
Frau Hauser, she was my German teacher. Frau Hauser.
No.
We'll see how much of it stuck.
It's a bit. Have you watched Sense8, the series Sense8, where they have
no.
They have like gifts, right? Telepathy.
Exactly.
And
what was the name of it? Say that again.
Sense8.
It's on
Sense8.
Yeah, and that's a very international series, but that takes place all over Europe and
all
the
over
US.
No, like everywhere.
Everywhere in the world. Oh wow,
Germany,
okay.
like everywhere.
So less that broad, but more Western, the Western way, and
But so we developed it so that exactly because usually, I mean, this series is going to be very expensive because it is science fiction. Science fiction is always very expensive, and fantasy, or that's the genre that we would fit in like the broader scale of things. And we developed it that way because science fiction is always very expensive because there's so many special effects that need to be created. And all of these things cost a lot, but we try to create it a way that the first season, for example, like they did the same thing with Stranger Things. The first season was the least expensive, and then with every next season, it got more and more expensive because it was a hit and they got more money in, so they could make the production bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And so our idea was for the first season that like all of these inner earth aspects that we want to bring in, we bring in as seeds, and here and mysterious in a way that it entices people, and people want to know what it is. And then season 2, this is where they go into inner earth and explore like this whole incredible world. And by then we obviously hope that the series will be picked up by like a huge production company, and the first season will be a hit, and then they're gonna just pour money into it, so that we can create all of these like fantastic worlds that are there. That's our like general like idea behind like
and obviously
business
production design and set design is massive because of the uniqueness of the subject. And how do you create a world like this? You know, nowadays obviously you have green screen, and you can do a lot of special effects and animation, but like it was amazing when you mentioned your friend who was an Avatar, because we often looked at Avatar, the way they created a complete different planet, and
so such a magical planet.
But it's like 10 years in the making, that film, you know, before it came out. And we don't obviously have the time for that, and it needs to be, and today things are easier to be done, but it's still to have an amazing production design, costume, like all of these things, to make it look science fiction, futuristic, otherworldly, you know, multi-dimensional. Like it's never been done before. So it's like, we need those.
And then, for example, for the third season, our plan was that we go and even to like a higher dimension. We would basically go into space. So this is where they like, where basically how the 3 seasons, we have developed like 3 seasons. How we structured it is they start in their little shell of like the mindset that they have in their world. Then it expands in season 2 where they go into inner earth, and then it expands even more when they go into all of these other dimensions. They go into contact with extraterrestrials. They go and talk with the what is it called again, the
galactical
aligned,
of light, like all of these dimensions. So this is where the characters are supposed to go, and in the end they're supposed to find out that they are actually like the souls. Their souls are part of the Galactic Federation, and they made the choice to come down to Earth to start that movement of awakening on the planet. So that was their whole sole purpose. So basically their way is going from being completely unconscious to like this highest level
and
of
manipulated by the brain chips as well.
Manipulated by the brain
and
chips.
lost and traumatized. So
Exactly. So like the whole soul development awakening process will be like from knowing nothing, only like their 3D dimensional reality, to basically everything opening up and understanding everything.
And then kind of ideally shutting down the servers that control humanity and the brain chips, and everyone's gonna wake up. So the whole awakening of humanity, like the human race.
Where did you get the idea for the chips? I'm curious.
Because that's what's happening.
It is when we asked ourselves the question, what about the zeitgeist phenomena and what is really challenging, and we did the constellation work where we read in the unconscious field, and we thought we have to challenge AI, artificial intelligence. And at that time, Elon Musk was creating the first brain chips. He was working in that. So he's our role model, and how his way of thinking. We studied all the interviews and his way of thinking and his perspective. And this is absolutely 3D materialistic. His only way is through brain chip to get in this more informational. It's more information. It's not a higher dimension. It's more information. And
I asked you that because what I understand of when the Atlantean civilization finally collapsed, it was because there was a separation between source and us. Mm-hmm. That break took place at the heart, but they say, if you want to understand what, there was a black box that was put, just below our brain, and that was meant to keep us preoccupied. Now, whether you want to interpret that as the phone that you hold in your hand or whatever it is, something has done that. So when we keep suggesting that people need to be heart-centered again, it's to reestablish that connection. So whatever that black box or whatever that plant was is now either being dissolved, removed in favor of our original design. So we get to be the humans we were always meant to be. And when we can finally reach that level, we have greater awareness that we're about to blossom into. And here's where we step into other dimensions. There are up to 9 dimensions represented on the earth. 9. There's representation from all of those energies here. So when Oriana characterized when we went off planet, those other dimensions, that's extraterrestrial. You're going off Earth. And every one of those have multiple dimensions too. Oh, you're going to find places in the galaxy you didn't know about where they're not Earth clones, but they support 3rd dimensional duality and those lessons. So what's going on Earth, is unique because this experiment's been going on for eons, guys, and we're done. Now this cosmic cycle is done. Earth is no longer going to be third dimensional at all, and we're just kind of get situated so we can go with her. But there are other places like this that are going to require some attention. And so when I say some of us that are going through this are going to be very valuable in other places, our souls are going to be valuable in other places in the galaxy as subject matter experts when we went through this crap to go assist other places when we get it all dialed in.
Okay.
Yes. Humanity is the only entity like it in the galaxy. This form, this mentality, this is it. But we're capable of lots of other things, and we're about to step into our power again and find out what that really is.
Yeah. Exactly, that is the story we want to tell. And that's why we have the brain chip in there, because the brain chip is supposed to offer all that is innate to our being that we can achieve without technology. The brain chip is supposed to be like this. It's kind of like this false sense of here you have it,
live your full
on a
potential,
silver, like on a silver tab, like
you don't have to feel trauma.
Exactly.
You don't have to work through pain.
So it's basically supposed to be spiritual awakening, but with the downfall
In a box.
Exactly, in a box. It offers like
Absolutely.
we say like with a brain chip, like you can have telepathic conversation, you can access all of the knowledge, like all of these things that when you actually spiritually awaken and you tap into these things inside your being, like you have access to all of these things. So the brain chip is promising something similar, but it's like a false promise. So this is what we want to show with that. We want to show like
and it's also not your free will anymore, because you're all like manipulated.
It's all influenced. It's all suggested. You don't think it is because you just treat it like another commercial you see. You don't know that you're being subtly suggested into all the things. Everyone else knows you are capable of turning thoughts into things. We're just going to tell you what things to turn your thoughts into.
And on the way, when our main characters learn about the other dimension and inner earth and the extraterrestrials, we unfold as well how the deep state and the dark societies and how they work, and that they exactly had a plan to pick these as representatives because they had the mission to unfold and open up the other the whole spiritual development, and they wanted to control them. So we want to show both sides and go really in some rabbit holes and show what is really happening there. That is absolutely planned, and the scientists are controlled and they only know a little bit, and they are fed with honors and money and to go their way, and but there are big minds behind that who have try to get in control and put down all the human development, and that AI can overtake. So this is the other agenda where we are in at the moment.
One thing we're thinking is that Silver was never supposed to get the brain chip, but because she's gotten off her track, so she's gotten off her purpose, the visions, the gifts that she brought, it was obviously put into like, you're crazy, you're schizophrenic, something's wrong with you, here, take these medicine, take these pills. So she was like numbed. What happens to so many of us, I'm one of the lucky ones who had the right mom. She didn't take me to the doctor, but when I saw things when I was growing up, could have ended a whole different way. And I know people who ended completely differently. So Silver got into that kind of wrong path. And this is why in our first episode, Caesar's coming on her 28th birthday and they're initiating, her purpose, reinitiating it basically. And they have to kill the brain chip because otherwise she can't fulfill her destiny, basically. So in a way, we want to play with the idea that some things went wrong and our core people didn't see that coming, but by the end of it, it all makes sense again, because that's how the universe works.
But
So
also
even
they-
Honey, it parallels exactly what we're going through. So your
Yeah.
storyline is exactly what people need to know
Yeah.
if they bother to pay attention.
Yeah.
So you putting in a really entertaining way for them to finally get it. That's
Yeah.
why I can't wait till it's done and it's
Yeah.
out there and people start to look at it and start to scratch their heads and think, man, is that really going on?
Yeah.
Yes. And so is the Inner Earth part. Stay tuned for season 2.
yeah.
But Lowell, the interesting thing is that we approached two bigger companies like Sky, and one actor we wanted to have with his producing company, and Justin Baldoni, and they gave us the feedback. Oh, it's too dark. We don't want that. It's not our taste. And Sky gave us the feedback. So the AI and the brain chips, this is wonderful to play through, but then you go on this land of fantasy. No, we are not interested. So
Great.
we
Stay on
have
course.
we have complete two different, absolutely different feedbacks to the story we put together. So we have to find somebody or some main producing company who exactly get it, yet like you got it straight away. That is exactly, this is the challenge.
We can't avoid to show the dark part to get into the light, and it's not a fluffy fairy. It's
You're exactly right. I had to
trauma
defend that for a long time when I didn't want to talk about all the lousy crap that got here. And my response is, it doesn't serve any purposes right now for me to look at all the crap that got us here. I can't deny that it didn't take place. So if you want my understanding of what had happened, here it is. But the space I'm required to hold is to transmute negative energy into light. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time articulating things that are negative, because I know those turn into my truths. And so what I'm going to, if I have to refer to negative situations, I'm going to find a way to spin it into a positive statement so that I don't utter anything that's going to come back from the universe in abundance at me. This is how I got where I am. And I can tell you, over the last 2 years, this formula works magnificently to manifest wonderful things if that's what you focus on. So, I can't beat people over the head to help them understand that, because it takes practice and it takes time for you to even come to that realization. You got to experience it enough so you can finally look back on your track record and see that, all that time that you kept positive thoughts in your head, since December of 2016, I have not had an unpleasant experience with anybody. Not anybody flipping me off in the car, nothing. Wow. So you tell me that this mindset doesn't work. It doesn't. And I've been around pissy people. It just didn't come toward me.
That's amazing.
It's what we all have to look forward to. So in the end, gang, if we can direct people to seeing that picture and that illustration with them in the painting, we have done our job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I wanted to ask you something, Lowell. You said in the videos when you approached Telos and Alex that you were sort of chosen to go there because you could hold the fifth dimension. And what did happen afterwards or now? How are you in the fifth dimension consciousness all the time? Or
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. I can see and sense. If you want what that means in physical sensations, I can tell you what that means. That means that when I see colors, I see spectrums you don't see yet. That when I hear sounds, I hear spectrums of sounds that you don't hear yet. My senses are much more acute. my vision has improved dramatically. I still wear reading glasses, but where I used to have to wear glasses to drive, the distance was an issue. I don't have that issue anymore. But that and a lot of other health issues, when I attested to a meditative life, somehow in 6 months' time, without this being my intention, history of high blood pressure went away. I've been a hockey player all my life, so arthritis gone, and somehow 35 pounds just dropped off my body like that. The universe found where I was supposed to be. It just made me crave different things. I didn't say I needed to start exercising and I need to find a diet. I didn't do any of that. And yet here I am. I do not look or act somebody my age, and I get that. So there's a reason why all these things have been placed in my path, and gifts have been given to me, and powers that have been restored to me, so that I can help, as an example, point at me and look, hey, you can do this too. There isn't a whole lot different between your physical form and mine. My mind is what got me where I am. And when you can understand your frequency and what it vibrates and make sure that it raises to the vibration of the stuff around you, you will see and experience it now. Somebody had to remind me the week before last, because we've been talking about the ascension process, right? It was one of Dave, my friend, who I told you has had visitors come and visit him. His friend Jim, came back and visited him the first part of February again. And he said, you need to stop referring to one another. Those of you that understand what's going on here and see where we're going, you have ascended. See yourself as that. You're not ascending. You have ascended.
Yeah.
You can see things from that perspective. You can hold fifth dimensional awareness. So yes, the rest of the world's crazy and all this white noise is still going around you because the world is nothing but a big experiment in duality. However, you see beyond it now. You see where you're going. That's what you need to focus on and help others who, that curtain's being kind of parted a little bit. They're seeing a little bit more. Sooner or later, that veil just drops. And then they want to know, oh my God, who can tell me what this is about? You just want touchstones. Who else can help me? And then the tribe shows up. It's a lot, but it's coming. I'm happy to be part of it. It's fulfilling to watch people get it.
Did we tell you that Oriana saw you in one of her meditations?
No.
We did one of our manifesting meditations together when we saw each other together last time, and the first day we did it. Maybe you want to tell it, Oriana, not me.
I do want to hear it. I'm recording this, by the way.
Well, sometimes before we start work, we sit down and we write down our core manifestation. And then we all sit down, close our eyes for 10 minutes and just focus on that and just let in whatever images come. And in that particular one, I saw the writer's room basically. And there was the four of us sitting there creating the story, and then the door behind us opened, and then there was this man walking through the door, and I couldn't see a face, but he had this, how can I describe this? There was this incredible high vibration, this calmness, this sereneness, this incredible loving support, and he was just standing behind us, and he actually opened the door and he held the door open. And then I saw tons of people, what I saw in my mind was just when a video is played faster. So the people at the table were changing, flipping around, and stuff was happening. But the core five people were always there, were always at the table, and we were involved in every process of what was happening. The writers, sometimes the room was full with people. Then there was one more other person. So that was what I saw, and we thought when we met you, it felt exactly like that energy, that person that I saw in there.
All your energy, all your resources are showing up, and there they were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They were all there,
Wow.
yeah.
That gave me chills.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we also felt it was also like an interesting story that we don't know who he is. He has a male energy.
Oh yeah.
But when we started developing it, we did this. Sometimes we do this exercise before we start work, where we like a physical exercise, where we turn like dervish, like this.
A whirling dervish.
A whirling dervish. We do this. We've done this practice for years and years now, and we sometimes do it to just center ourselves, to free ourselves from negative emotions. And
do you know what the 5 Tibetan rites are?
Yeah, this is from there.
It sounds like it's number 1 on the list, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
That's what
And we do it for quite a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was so interesting because while I was turning, obviously like your vision is blurred, but always at the same point, I saw this being standing there, and he was just.
But the 3 of us, we saw it all.
Did we all see it?
Yeah.
It was just me and my mom.
No, yeah. I mean, I can't do it because I get sick, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I think we all felt it.
We
that
all felt
somebody
it.
was in the room.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but the funny thing was because like I saw him at like a very specific spot standing there.
Yeah.
And he had such an interesting energy, like because often like when I'm in contact with these beings, they always have like a very soft, warm, loving, welcoming. But he was like, no, he was business. He was like, get your shit together. You have to think.
Yeah.
That was the energy here. He was like, get this done. Like I'm here. I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna kick your asses.
Yeah.
So and
yeah,
then,
I know those benevolent beings that are, do no harm, take no shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then I stopped and I was like, I saw someone in the room, and my mom pointed to the exact location and was like, was he there? I was like, yeah, he was there. Oh my God.
There.
But we know like there is someone,
and he showed up
working with
after
us.
as well.
Yeah.
In meditation.
We don't know who he is.
But it's like there's a
meditation.
master being attached to this project.
Yeah.
And he's got the whip out. He's like,
Yeah. You really, at some point, it would be wonderful to find out. Yeah.
I have a friend that along the way you need to. I keep calling her Cindy because that's her given name. The name she goes by these days is Yegamaya. She's been a channel for me, and lots of the messages, unsolicited by the way, that have come through for me have come through her. She speaks star languages, not one, multiple languages. So when I've been in sessions with Cindy, I could tell different beings were stepping in because the cadence would change and the rhythm would change. But oh man, she's got messages that she can help pull through for.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Wow.
Mm-hmm. She's very gifted. She's been spending a lot of time clearing places around the United States for a while.
Wow.
So she's constantly on the move, but she's what a dear soul. And we had met after Telos. She was traveling and visited. There was a couple who had heard about my experience. One of the first ones that wanted to sign up and do a Zoom session. And after I had met Lisa and Donald, Cindy was passing through Santa Fe where they lived. I was going to stay with them for a few days. And Lisa was telling Cindy about the experience and about me. And she goes, well, I'd love to talk to this guy. So we made arrangements. The next day I'm on a Zoom. And all of a sudden, at the beginning, Lisa said, Lowell, this is Cindy. Cindy, this is Lowell. Have at it. And Cindy started speaking some language at a clip that I could not understand. Just, and you could tell it was a little bit different, but like for the next 45 minutes, all I could think of, just tuck it away. I know you don't know what it's coming. Just let it flow. And later, I got to appreciate that. Later, she would tell me, because 9 months later, she would reach out again, unsolicited. Hey, got a message for you. Here's what it is. And then there was a series of things that me and Toth got together on. So I carry higher aspects now, and whatever that was going to invite, she helped facilitate that type of thing.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
she'll, when I hear Oriana talking about those types of circumstances and those mystical things, Cindy can bring clarity to that. And she can tell you who those people were and what was going on in the space, and she can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we did a constellation work after Oriana and I, we both saw this master being, and we could feel his energy. And as he said, get your act together. Yeah, you really have to work now. And this was his main message. You have to get your act together. Yeah.
Well, you know how I feel. I'm the kind of get shit done kind of guy.
Yeah.
You heard how long it was going to take for me to get wherever you were. That's how much I believe this is what we're supposed to do next.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
ask one more question, which really interests me? Since like the like how I understand it is that we're shifting at the moment into like fourth, fifth dimension, but obviously in our Earth, like the dimensions are way more open. I don't know like what kind of dimension they're going. How did it feel like for you coming back from inner Earth to third dimension again, like on Earth? Was it like painful? Was there like any kind of like painful experiences, or how was that? Because obviously there must be some kind of shift happening going from there to here again.
It's dense. That's the best word I can use. It just feels heavy.
Yeah.
And when you're in that other area, you just feel lighter. There's that sensation, you feel lighter. For whatever reasons, I feel myself like bounding upstairs now. And I'm not a young man, but tripping upstairs for me it's like effortless now. I shouldn't be, but it is. So when I get to reach that stage of vibration, everything feels lighter. And whatever meaning you want to apply to the word light, because it's energetic, yes, it's like physically not as dense and it's not as heavy and thick. That's what that sensation's like. Yeah. When you begin to see those sensations, especially, in 3D area where I could see these energetic changes, they look holographic and like form. You've seen heat come off a sidewalk. That's kind of what this looks like, but with form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna look, my objective is to get you all, while we have these conversations, to vibrate at the same level I'm at. So that you get to see all the same things I get to see. And when we call in light beings, I'm not the only one that's supposed to see them. No, we're all supposed to see them now.
Yeah. Yeah, this is our mission as well. We have to do what we preach, and we have to go every step, which is and we are absolutely open and prepared. So it's a journey in the project, but it's around the project as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get lots of doses of multidimensionality because all of our conversations are going to be peppered with it. So you get used to it. You're already plugged into it. I can tell by your auras that you're already in that sense. And that's why you do collective meditations that, guys, you're already vibrating at the same level with the mindset that you're all totally aware what this is. And it's time to bring it out to others.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get support along the way, and that's why finance stuff is going to come from other sponsors, so that we're not taking this divine information we've got in exchange for some kind of wealth. They're not interested in giving it to us that way, and when we use it that way, we're going to find out the resources are going to be cut off pretty quick. But they already sense where our hearts are, and that's why, man. All of those resources that have been your birthright, by the way, soul, it's time for you to command them and spend them. Bring them into your awareness now, because we have a purpose for it. It's not like we're going to buy boats and cars and take trips all over the world. No, We know what we are going to do next, and we know what the resources are for. Besides, all of this exchange of goods things is a freaking illusion in the first place, and money is stupid. So we don't have any of that to mess with when we get to the next stage. But we still have to negotiate our way through the third dimension, and money is energy we need to do that with. Our guides understand that, and it's coming toward us. So
yeah, we know that it's coming. Also, like in one of you guys remember one of our first ones, I was like also like one of our meditations. I saw this picture. It felt like kind of like a wormhole of like the whole process of like how the series will develop. And like we were grabbing money sets from like left and right, like grabbing it towards us. So this is exactly what it feels like. It's gonna appear, and then we just have to grab it and then pull it towards us.
It's all already happened in our mind, but not yet manifested into the 3D, and that's the next big step.
okay.
Yeah.
You can reach out once we set up this WhatsApp, then you can reach out to me anytime. If you have questions or you want to reach out, call me. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. If I don't get it right away, I'll answer it eventually. But don't be afraid to start to communicate, because if there's other things that we can start on now, I just finished the last project I was working on, and so I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah. Wonderful.
By the way, I don't know. I changed the permissions on all those folders and sent them out, so you should have access to all of it. I'm pretty certain that it's not all of the images, so there are others, but you'll have plenty to begin to work with. Just start to play with them and see where you might or might not use them. But as the assets come available, I'll throw them in folders and just share them with you, and you decide whether you can use them or not. Okay.
We looked at them, like it's weird what happens to me when I look at them. It's like my soul is craving this so much. It's like being here and then seeing these images is like, but this is where I belong.
That's exactly what they trigger in me and everybody else. This project I just finished, I started, leaking these pictures out a few at a time.
But I think the funny thing is, it seems familiar. It feels like like home, or like
Brilliant.
Somehow.
That's exactly what it was supposed to do, because all of you Inner Earth initiates, mystery school students, have already been there. And you're right when you say that those things are places that you've seen. That's how it was introduced to me. Do you think it was an accident that when I threw those keywords in mid-journey, that was the picture that came out? Of course, it wasn't a coincidence. Here, Lowell, you asked us to show you where you've been. Here it is. And when it resonated with me, I knew it was going to resonate with others too. And it wasn't disappointed at all. So then now there's a feeding frenzy for these pictures. I created a couple of books the week before last just to make coffee table books. So within a 72-hour period, I produced 2 books that had 300 pages of nothing but pictures of those things. Then I thought other people just wanted to hold it in their hands. And I thought, well, you've seen tarot cards. Wait, I found a company online that can produce a larger, like tarot size card. So I took those images, put a daily affirmation in them, and put 60 of them together. I have 4 different editions, and they'll be available in like 2 weeks. Oh my God. How does all that manifest the way that it did that fast? And they look amazing.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Here's where our resources are going to come from, guys. See? All right. Well, I'm going to let you go enjoy the rest of your evening. What's the weather like where you are?
It's nicer now.
Berlin is very gray in the winter.
At the moment, this spring is really coming wonderfully.
That's good.
Because there's lots of people outside suddenly. It's like full of people, and everyone is like, sunshine.
Well, you got to appreciate, I've been doing research on Berlin, and of course, all the pictures I see are beautiful.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it ain't that today, but it should be by the time I get there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will look differently. Like all the
Yeah.
little blossoms are starting to come out now, and
Okay. All right.
Great. Do we have your number for the WhatsApp group?
I think so, but if not, do you want to jot it down really quick?
Yes. Just 1 second. Flip one. And phone +1 is America. Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
707
7
787
787.
1738.
A lot of sevens. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of sevens.
It's a good number.
Okay, great.
Cool. We'll get that
Amazing.
done.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
I'm
I'm
very
terribly
happy,
excited. Oh,
very glad. I'm so glad and happy and looking so much forward.
Yeah.
Me
We're on
too.
different vibration when we talk to you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you have a really nice energy.
Well, thank you for saying so. Well, we can do this all the time. You want to kumbaya? Just tell me when you want to Zoom and we can do this.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, go get to work so that eventually I can start to tell people about this because I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, ladies.
Okay.
Talk to you soon.
Bye, Lowell.
Ach so.